Hey guys, welcome back. I meant to make this video for quite some time now, but sometimes I have a clear picture of something in my mind and I want to make a video about it, but sometimes it's a little bit difficult to put it out in words for other people to see the same picture. But I'm gonna try with this video. I'm gonna try to make it simple, and it's all gonna be about competition within the blockchain industry. But this same analysis applies for any industry, really. And I've seen it happen with many companies, especially around the tech industry. But anyways, we're gonna start by analyzing the dominance chart here, and I have only BTC. So you can see clearly since the beginning how BTC it's been in a steady downtrend, slowly going down. And then since last year, it went down drastically since 2017. So I hear a lot of times from a lot of people, they say that it's normal that it's gone down drastically in 2017 because we also had a lot of new coins coming into the market drastically, which means, since the beginning here, this starts in 2013, new coins were coming into the market, but not at the same rate as it happened in 2017. For example, here from 2013 until 2017, maybe, one new coin came in the market and then, another coin, but it was like a slow. And then in 2017, we went from, I think it was 700 coins in the market to 1,600. 600 coins in the market in a short period of time. I think it doubled. I could be wrong in that. I should have checked that probably before starting this video, but I think it was like 700 or 800 coins somewhere here in 2017, and then it doubled in a short period of time. So, fair enough, it makes sense. Yes, if the number of new coins rises drastically, well, then it's normal that BTC dominance will go down drastically as well. So the explanation makes sense, but when you dig a little bit deeper here, you will realize that it's not exactly true. If you start looking at other coins, say for example, let's take a look at Ethereum, and let's remove Bitcoin from here so we don't have any judgment. Let's only look at Ethereum here. Ethereum, it's been in a steady growth in dominance since it was released up until today days. So you can see here it was released somewhere in 2015. In 2015, there were a lot less coins in the market than there are right now. And in fact, here, somewhere in 2017, it's when a lot of new coins came into the market. It's the same. I mean, BTC or Ethereum or any other coin, they are all competing within the same market. So if you say, okay, many coins come into the market, that's why BTC dominance goes down, well, that should apply as well for Ethereum, and it's not the case. Ethereum didn't really care about how many new coins came into the market, it kept on growing. And you can see since it was released up until today, it's never made a lower low or a lower high. It's always been in a steady uptrend. So, you see that theory, doesn't hold up very well. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash now. And Bitcoin Cash is really new, to judge. So we will have to see how it behaves during the, the bear market until the bear market finishes, and how much is going to rise in the next bull market. But if we compare Ethereum to Bitcoin Cash, you can see when Ethereum came out in 2015, there were a lot less coins in the market than there are now, or than there were when Bitcoin Cash came into existence. And even with that, Bitcoin Cash went a lot higher in the first, release than Ethereum did when it was released. So right here, it shows a lot of strength already. If you can see, many coins follow the exact same pattern. You see the first bubble when it's released, and the next bear market. After they go up and pump like crazy, they go into a bear market, they correct a lot, a little bit of sideways, and then they go into the second, you know, main bubble. So BTC did the same. BCH did the same here. You can see that in any, you know, in every coin. Let's just show Ripple. You see, it's the same for every coin. It goes up in a bubble, it goes into a bear market, it corrects a lot, a little bit of sideways, and then the next push up. And you see that in every other coin as well. So, but going back to this, so this first peak here for Bitcoin Cash represents this first peak here for Ethereum, or as I said, for any other coin. You will see the same pattern in every coin when it comes to market dominance. And then it corrects everything, and then it goes up into a second bubble, and it makes kind of like a double top here, as you can see, which is exactly what this one did, you know, the double top, and then the second, you know, correction here, which Ethereum had here. It corrected so much in dominance, as low as the top of the very first bubble, more or less. And so this is what most coins do. This is the pattern. But you can imagine if in the very first, you know, peak here, when it was released, it went up much more than what Ethereum did. In the second, you know, push up here for Bitcoin Cash, it went to 15% dominance, 12% dominance, which is more or less what Ethereum did in this second bubble here. So you kind of get the idea what's going to happen during the next bull run here, what I can anticipate. This is going to be like Ethereum did in the third push up. That's what I would be expecting following this pattern. But it's too early to, you know, to judge. It's too early to say for Bitcoin Cash, because it's a very, very new blockchain that, well, it's not really new because it's the same blockchain as BTC, just a split, but you get the idea. The name, you know, is a new, you know, new coin here in the market. So too new to judge here, but let's go to the next one. Let me hide Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash, and now let's take a look at Litecoin. So Litecoin here, you can see it's also in a steady downtrend, just like BTC. Since it was created in the very beginning here, actually it was created a little bit earlier, but we don't have the history, but it was not from much earlier. It was somewhere here. So you can see this was that first bubble in the middle of 2013, and then the next bubble at the end of 2013. It went really high in dominance, but around 9%, I would say. I cannot get this peak exactly here, but looking at the number, this is 6%, so it's more or less 9 or 10% here at the very peak. And you need to remember that back here in 2013, there were only like 15 coins in the market, you know, or 10 or 15 coins in the market. I can't remember exactly, but there were very, very few, which means it was a lot easier to gain dominance back then because there was no competition at all. And even with that, it only went to 9 or 10% dominance. And then after, you know, during this bear market, it went lower than the previous low. Then it pushed up again, but it didn't make it higher than the previous one. And when it corrected again, it went lower than the previous low. So Litecoin is one of these coins, just like BTC, that it's been in a steady downtrend in dominance. Let's compare Litecoin with Bitcoin Cash. Litecoin, it's never like Bitcoin Cash. Only when it was released the first time, it made it a lot higher than Litecoin has ever been. And again, guys, remember here there was no competition at all. There was very, very few coins in the market. It was so much easier to get dominance, you know, comparing when with Bitcoin Cash came into existence, where there were already 1,600 coins in the market. And even with that, it went a lot higher than Litecoin ever did when there was not even competition here. So this is very, very strong to start with. So you can imagine what's going to happen in the future here. Of course, I want to clarify this, guys. I'm only following trends, okay? I'm showing the trend for Litecoin, for example, is been in a steady downtrend. But remember, guys, trends can change from one day to the next. So anything I say today can change tomorrow. It could change tomorrow. I don't know if the trend is going to change, but until the trend doesn't change, I only follow trends and I only analyze trends and I always assume continuation. But So, you know, so as of the date of this video, what I am saying, it's not even that it's correct. It's just I'm showing you without judgments. LTC and BTC are in a steady downtrend in dominance, while others, like Ethereum that I showed before, is in a uptrend in dominance. So, you know, this is just showing the trend. It's not that I want them to go up or down or anything. I'm not judging here. I'm only following the trend. But of course, the trend can change anytime from one day to the next, and then I would have to reassess. But so far, I'm only showing the trend. So LTC, just like BTC, downtrending in dominance. Ethereum going up, and Bitcoin Cash, still early to say, but I mean, like I just said before, it was just released, and it was a lot more dominant than what Litecoin was when there was not even competition in the market. So you get the idea here. What's the next? Ripple. Let's see Ripple. Ripple, also, it's uptrending, it's growing. I mean, this one is one of those that pumps a lot and it corrects a lot, but overall, it doesn't go lower than the previous low. If you see here, this low at 1% dominance, it's not as low as this one here at 0.3 dominant. And the highs are also higher than the previous highs. Only this one, it was slightly lower. I mean, it was lower, but the low here is still higher than the previous one, and this one is higher than the previous one. So overall, it's growing. Altcoins have corrected so much already, so I don't see this going much lower to find the bottom. So I would anticipate the bottom, it'll be higher than this previous one, and this previous one is higher than this previous one. So overall, it's in a steady growth in dominance, Ripple. So guys, I want to make, you know, I want to repeat what I said at the beginning. BTC is going down in dominance, just like LTC, for example, as well. It's not a valid excuse to say that this is because new coins are coming into the market every day. That's not a valid excuse, because every other coin that we have down here, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ripple, Dash, NEM, Monero, IOTA, NEO, and all the others, they all compete inside the same market. They have all the exact same competition. Yet, some of them continue to grow in dominance, while some others are going down in dominance. So let's take a look at Dash. Dash is like perfectly growing, and it's growing a lot. If you can see, this is a very steady growth here. And you know, here in this past year, in 2017, it grew a lot. And yes, it's retracing now, but it's still very dominant compared to, you know, anywhere in the past here. It is still growing, unless this, you know, changes and it goes all the way down here, making lower lows. But so far, you can see the growth. Especially in 2017, which is exactly when BTC dropped drastically, which this is showing how Dash is one of the examples that it's eating dominance from BTC and not the other way around. Let's see, NEM is the next one. It also seems to be growing. So this is the first little bubble, you know, like all the coins have when they are released. Then the bear market. This bear market lasted longer than normal because, well, this was when everything was in a bear market as well. And then in 2016 started to grow, had pre-bubble, the main bubble, and then bear market again, but it never made it as low as it was before. So it's overall growing in dominance, and it grew a lot at the time that BTC was going down a lot. Let's see Monero. The same, look at this chart, it's super strong and super healthy, you know, in dominance. So it's growing in dominance while BTC is going down. So, you know, and Monero is also competing against the other 1,600 coins, yet is strong, yet is healthy and growing in dominance over time. So, you know, IOTA, this one again, it's not, it's too early to judge here. It's like Bitcoin Cash, it's too early to say here this is going to continue to grow or it's just going to go down and die. I don't know. This is too new, so there's not much I can say here. Let's see NEO. Same thing, it's too new, you know, I cannot say anything. It looks like it grew a lot, like it looks like something really strong, but really the peak, how much was it? Like 2% dominance at the peak. If we compare this with Bitcoin Cash, it's like really nothing. You know, Bitcoin Cash is really, really strong. No coin has been that strong at the moment of the release. So guys, I wanted to show basically the trend in dominance, and that it's not excuse that BTC went down drastically because of the competition. Well, yes, it is because of the competition, but it's not because there's more competition. It is because it's the competition. It's proving to be better. And you know, to illustrate that a little bit better, I wanted to show here the chart for Nokia, for example. It's only an example. There's many other companies. I've seen this happen a lot in the past with many other companies. Look at this is a chart for Nokia. If you remember, I mean, if you are old enough, like if you're my age or older, you probably remember that Nokia was dominating the market for mobile devices, for mobile phones. It was absolutely dominating the market. Then Nokia started to get competition. Actually, let me activate the chart for Apple here. Yeah, exactly. Here, this was a tech bubble, everything went down, but Nokia was still very dominant. And then everything went sideways, and here at 2005 or so, everything started to recover. And then we had the next crisis, which was in 2008, which is this peak here. Everything went into a crisis. Stocks, precious metals, everything, housing bubble. That was the global crisis that we had in 2008. So it was normal. Everything went down. But then you can see here actually how Apple started to take over in 2003, 2004. And 2005, it finally took over. So I remember here in 2000, and I could be wrong now, but around that time, I was still using Nokia. I had Nokias since, like, my very first phone was a Nokia, and I had Nokia after Nokia after Nokia until I think it must have been somewhere here in 2000, and maybe it was later, 2006 or 7. I had my last Nokia. I remember specifically it was Nokia Express Music. It was a very nice phone, really sleek design, full touch screen. The iPhone was the first iPhone was already out in the market, and it was, I think iPhone was the first full touch screen, and then Nokia came out with Express Music, which was the first Nokia with full touch screen, very high quality audio to listen to music. It could hold so many songs. It was awesome, but that was the very last hit before Nokia could not continue to compete with Apple. Apple took over, and before Apple, actually, the BlackBerry started to take dominance as well. Let me activate the chart for the BlackBerry here. So the BlackBerry is the yellow one. You can see how the BlackBerry here, after the end of the bear market, after the tech bubble popped, you see the BlackBerry started to take over, you know, in market share, and it went above Nokia already here. So Nokia was suffering already. There was so much competition, and this just comes to show, if you look at the beginning before all this, look how dominant Nokia was here. Look how dominant Nokia was since the beginning of times. No one ever thought that anything could take over Nokia here. I saw an interview recently on YouTube. The CEO of Nokia was interviewed. Nokia was already low in market dominance. Nokia had already, you know, lost a lot of market share here. The iPhone was selling very well. There was this guy interviewing the CEO of Nokia and saying, look, you know, I have an iPhone, but I don't want an iPhone. I want to continue to use Nokia because I love Nokia. But when is the next release gonna be out? Because I see you're announcing, I think it was the Nokia Lumia. When is it going to be out? Because it looks awesome. That was when Nokia already partnered with Microsoft. If you remember, Nokia in the beginning, it used its own operating system, but then years later, Microsoft and Nokia partnered, so they were going to release a Nokia with a Windows operating system. So this guy was asking the CEO of Nokia, look, I don't want to use iPhone, I want to continue to use Nokia because I love it, but when is this you know, this new release gonna be out, because I really want to see it. Do you have a date? And the guy was saying like, no, we don't have a date yet, but people are gonna wait for us because we're the best, you know, and we're gonna come out with something very, very amazing. So, you know, very, very arrogant. Actually, let me play you the video. It's just 1 minute video.
I saw a picture yesterday in some newspaper about Lumia 928. What kind of phone is that?
I don't know, because we haven't announced the Lumia 928.
Of course you know. When are you announcing that?
So one thing that I'm pleased to say is today, on Thursday,
answer the question.
as this show airs, I'm making an announcement right here today on your show, because we're introducing the Lumia 620 in Finland. It's coming to Finland. It's a beautiful device that is making its appearance in Finland for the first time as this show airs.
Okay.
But as for future products,
928, when is it coming out?
I'll say a couple things about future products.
I can do one thing. I have an iPhone.
Oh, how embarrassing!
I don't want to have an iPhone. I want to.
Look, I can take care of that for you right here. There you go.
I want to have a Nokia phone.
It's gone.
I want to have a Nokia phone because I believe in you and I believe in Nokia.
Yes.
But I want to have that Lumia 928. When do I get it?
So let me tell you what we're doing in the future.
But tell me before that. When do you...
I will not sorry, can't answer those questions. But what I can say...
But you won't change that to a Nokia phone.
Oh, I will change it to a Nokia phone. Don't worry.
Good.
And this just comes to show, and I've seen that with other companies, when it looks like they will never, you know, lose dominance, and then they end up like you can see here. Look where Apple is right now, and look where Nokia and BlackBerry are right now. All the way down there, you don't even see them. This is what happened when you are arrogant and you underestimate your competition. I've seen the same with Sega versus Nintendo. I saw how Sega took over Nintendo, and then how Sony PlayStation took over Sega. So you see that with many companies, especially around the tech industry. All these companies that were so dominant in their, you know, in their best times, I saw them losing market dominance because of being arrogant and because not figuring out the competition fast enough. That's what's happening in the blockchain, and the first warning sign, important warning sign, is this drastic drop here. It's not an excuse that it's because many coins are coming into the market. That's not an excuse. Every coin every project is competing for the same dollar. Some projects are doing well when it comes to dominance, and some others are not doing well. And that's not because the amount of competition, it's because some projects are doing better than others. So don't underestimate the competition. Anything can change anytime. So I'm just gonna leave this video here, guys. I hope the idea is clear, what I'm trying to say. And yeah, I don't wanna make this longer. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you soon. Bye.